Internet, good morning. My name is Magnitude, and welcome back to How to Defeat Entei in Pokemon Go, the third and final, and my personal favorite, of the legendary dogs, Entei. Now, if you saw the Pokemon, the third movie with the Entei and the Unknown, you would know exactly why Entei is my favorite legendary dog. First of all, it talks. Second of all, that's about it. I mean, it's got complete control of the alphabet that has some, weird... its own sentient. It controls Unknown. It's fucking awesome. So let's talk about how to defeat it in Pokemon Go. So right now, Entei is what I believe going to be the third in the rotation in Pokemon Go. It is a fire type, meaning it's only weak to ground, rock, and water. Now, what do you know about ground, rock, and water in relation to Pokemon Go? Well, I'll tell you, in case you're not that quick on your feet. Those are very, very, very common Pokemon that you'll be seeing in these raids. Going forward, you've seen a lot of Golem, you've seen a lot of Rhydon, you've seen a lot of Vaporeon back in the day when Vaporeon was the top tier of the meta. So you've seen a lot of those Pokemon going forward. It resists Bug, Fire, Grass, Fairy, Steel, and Ice. So Fire is a solid defensive type in this meta, unless you're talking about some of the best Pokemon in the game, which are surprisingly Golem and Rhydon and Vaporeon. But once you get past those, Fire type, solid defensively, resists 6 types. Fairy is going to be a more prominent type as we go forward. Steel is going to be more prominent as we go forward. And Ice, well, Ice has never really been that good of a type anyway. But you take that with a cool Pokemon. You know, we're getting Glalie soon. Anyway, I'm getting too far off topic. Its stats are Attack 235, which is 17th overall right now. Defense is a paltry 176, which is also 76th overall, but its stamina is 230, which is 9th. So Entei boasts an interesting spread of high attack, high stamina, low defense. So it's going to be kind of annoying to take down. I would have, because it's going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to stick around for a long time because the damage that attacks do, the variations aren't that high. The difference between 6 and 7 damage sometimes is a whole 4 levels for a Pokemon. So you have to take that in consideration because that's the threshold where the number will round up. For quick attacks, he gets Fire Spin and Fire Fang. And charge moves, he gets Flamethrower, Fire Blast, and Overheat. As far as the optimal moveset goes, it really depends. If we ever figure out how to get Entei as a defender, if they ever give us legendaries that allow us to defend, you want to go with Fire Spin and Flamethrower. Flamethrower because I don't like the giant charge moves, I don't think anyone really does, as defense moves because they take so long to charge. And then once you get the max bar as a defender, it's a 50% chance if that charge move will even cast. So if we ever get legendary defenders, you want Fire Spin and Flamethrower. But if you are attacking with an Entei, which you're going to be doing once you get Entei, of course, you want Fire Spin and Overheat. That is the highest DPS output. Now, the best Entei you'd like to encounter would be the Fire Fang, Fire Blast variant. That is going to be the one with the least powerful defensive moveset. Now let's talk about counters. Tier 1, we have Omastar. Are you kidding me? Omastar getting some love? It is. Rock Throw or Water Gun, doesn't matter. Entei is weak to both, and Omastar gets Stab on both. And his charge move could be Rock Slide, Rock Blast, or Hydro Pump. It doesn't matter. Omastar is the... I snap my fingers, I'm not sure why. Omastar is easily the best counter for Entei. So finally, we get some variation. Sure, was good against Moltres, but also Moltres had that electric weakness, so you could really capitalize on that too. But with Entei only being weak to ground, water, and grass, Omastar covers 2 of those. And when Gen 3 comes out, we're on a little Ludicolo action. But the good thing is Omastar also quad resists all of Entei's moves, making Omastar the premier defender. But also in that tier 1 is Vaporeon. Water Gun with Aqua Tail or Hydro Pump doesn't really matter at that point. With Water Gun, Vaporeon will be attacking, as Vaporeon attacks and dealing significant damage back with Aqua Tail or Hydro Pump. So now there's a lot of discussion between the tier 2 and the tier 3, so I've kind of arranged them in the way that I see fit. So the tier 2 tier 2 best attacking mons are Golem, Tyranitar, Rhydon, and Feraligatr. Let's talk about a little bit of them. Golem, you could just use any move. You can just use any move. But why is Golem a tier 2 when Omastar is tier 1? Well, Golem only single resists Entei. And because of Golem's lower speed... his lower speed mod, which goes into the attack stat, he has a little bit of a less hitting power than Omastar. But you can use any of his moves. So Golem's still a very solid choice. As far as Tyranitar goes, you want Bite and Stone Edge. Now, Tyranitar originally wasn't on this list, but then I figured he's got a high DPS, and being the rock type, he can resist Entei, and his Stone Edge can hit Entei for super effective damage. So if you have a Bite/Stone Edge Tyranitar, that's going to be a very solid tier 2 defender. Rhydon with Mud Slap and Stone Edge or Earthquake. because it is both weak to ground and rock, which is something I have said a few times already, but I'm going to try to drill that into your heads. Both of its stabs and its charge moves have stab, and they can hit for super effective damage. But again, he suffers from the low speed mod stat. But Feraligatr is rounding out Tier 2. With Water Gun and Hydro Pump, you'll be hitting for stab, super effective damage, often with the Water Gun, and then Hydro Pump for that nice and easy charge damage as the battle goes on. The Tier 3 mons are Gyarados, Dragonite, and Kingdra. Gyarados with Bite or Dragon Breath or Dragon Tail, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't have a quick attack that can hit Entei super effectively, but the Hydro Pump as his charge move is the important one. You want to make sure the Hydro Pump is the attack. That way he can resist Entei. And then Bite is a very quick DPS move, so that's always a great option to have. And Hydro Pump is stab super effective and does a lot of damage, so why would you not want to have that? Dragonite, with really any of its moves, Dragon Tail or Dragon Breath with Outrage or Dragon Claw or Hurricane. Dragonite, you know, its mon's on here a lot, it's on these lists a lot. It has a high DPS, it resists Entei, and it hits back with high DPS stab moves, like Dragon Tail, and even Hurricane is stab. So it doesn't really matter which, you're going to be hitting for stab and a lot of damage. None of it's going to be super effective, but the fact you also can resist Entei is going to be a huge help in tanking some of those fire type attacks. And finally, Kingdra. Now, Kingdra quad resists and hits back super effectively. So why is Kingdra Tier 3? Even with a Water Gun Hydro Pump moveset, because its stats are so underwhelming, it is not going to be able to stick around long enough. Now, Entei's attack stat is high enough, where even if you quad resist it, and Kingdra's stats are low enough, you are still going to be taking significant damage from Entei. So Kingdra, while the stat matchup is there, both offensively and defensively, while the moveset is there, it is still only a Tier 3 gym attacker for Entei because of its low stat output and because of how quickly Entei can end it even though all these things align. So Kingdra is more underwhelming. It could fringe on Tier 2, it could, but in my personal opinion, it is a Tier 3 defender and you want to use any of the above mons in the higher tiers over Kingdra. So that's it. That's everything you need to know about Entei. That is how to defeat Entei going forward. And if you guys could please leave a like and of course answer the question of the day that I put at the start of all of my videos, that'd be fantastic. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more and I'll see you at the end where I give some special people some props. So first off, big thanks to all those names on the left there, my direct contributors via Patreon. And you guys are great. You guys are, to be fully honest, paying my internet bill. You guys are fantastic. Hope you guys are enjoying the content and the recognition at the end of each video. You guys are keeping my dream alive. Thank you. But I also answer one question at the end of all of my videos. You can ask those at sarahha.com or follow me on Twitter. And you can ask some questions there. Maybe I'll take some questions there. But I like the anonymity of it because it lets people be more honest. And I can, you know, really get some fleshed out questions here, or I guess give fleshed out answers to these questions. So, today's question is, if you never play Pokemon, what do you think you'd play instead, and would it have led you to become a YouTuber? Well, I think the thing that led to Pokemon being a thing that I did on YouTube was because I was so hyped for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I was a huge Pokemon guy. I was huge with it. So I was watching Diamond and Pearl videos on YouTube, and I thought, you know what? I would love to I want to battle people, because when Wi-Fi battling came out, so I was watching people in Japanese have their Wi-Fi battles and do Delete 4, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to battle people because I'm the greatest battler of all time, and I want people to see it. That was kind of my thought process. It was, what, 10 years ago, so I was 15 at the time. So I thought I was really good at Pokemon battling, even though Wi-Fi battling wasn't a real thing yet. And I wanted to show that to people, and I wanted to show people my creativity with my movesets and my ability with battling. Now, back in the day, you could only do 10-minute uploads. Some battles had to be in 2 parts, and they had to be pretty much live recorded, because I didn't know what the hell editing was. But if it wasn't Pokemon, I think it would have been Call of Duty, because I was still huge into Call of Duty at the time. And I did actually have a channel specifically for Call of Duty that I ended up deleting, because here's the kicker, I didn't think Call of Duty on YouTube would be very big. So, I think if I didn't do Pokemon, it would be Call of Duty. Don't sleep on that. It still might end up being me playing Call of Duty, but right now the channel is pure Pokemon with some other games sprinkled in, but I'd like to eventually branch off into other games with a Pokemon base. So, I guess we'll see where that gets me. I don't really know how that's going to work, but I'd like to do that. So, short answer, Call of Duty. Long answer, Call of Duty, because I was playing it a lot at the time. And I do play a lot of games now, but most games I play, I'm like streaming on Twitch because I just like watching or having people there and I like talking to people while I'm playing them. So I don't really play a lot of video games like in my free time, mostly because I don't have a lot of free time. If I do, it's Pokemon, but I rambled far too long. It is Call of Duty, final answer. Lock it in, Regis.